on this side, I almost need to double them. Well, that hive's a little aggressive because they're so packed with bees in there. Okay, all right. So my question to you would be, so you can bring that at your house or over there, over there. So would you rather have heavily populated, or like these right here? They still have a lot of bees, not quite at this level. They're gonna be a little bit more docile to get started. Let's do docile to get started. Be smart, yeah, you don't want to have a bad experience. And then the bees, I'll tell you that story too. In the winter, the population goes way down. So like these 3 boxes, come winter, they can only be in the bottom box. Okay, so they basically slow down laying, and their population dwindles because they die 30 days, right? So she slowed down on her laying a whole lot, and they're not going to have that many bees to feed all winter long. And that's just designed by nature. In other words, that's their way of being able to maintain a good food supply and make it to the spring. Okay, so in the spring, when the nectar starts coming in, well, that triggers the queen to start laying. So when that food supply coming in, well, now she's going to get back to laying 1,500, 2,000 eggs a day. All right, and so at that time of the year, her population is going to increase. Well, it's deceiving to people. You're going to go in that hive, okay, let's say March, April, May. That's all some new bees, baby bees that were born and all of that, and they don't have honey to protect. They're not as aggressive as once they have honey. So like you see how you dress today, later on we're gonna have big hives like that. You're gonna have better. I don't wear this suit when I take it honey because it's too light. So bees can actually sting through this. And when you go rob their honey, it'd be no difference. I can go visit you. We're okay. If I go to your house and try to take your stuff, you're gonna be a different person. But that's the same way with the bees. So when you go in there to rob their honey and stuff, you say, man, who's them bees for? But you're stealing their stuff and you're dismantling everything, making everything disruptive. So they become very aggressive as they come. But in the earlier part of the year, they're very docile. Okay. Yeah. All right. You have a smoker? Yes. All right. This one's made different, but it's the same principle. I should have like my wife's because this is just a little bit bigger and I can stuff it up. So she don't have that removable pan in there, right? Yeah. You got yours a little bit? I haven't used it yet. Okay. This thing, when you empty like this, if you have one like this, it always falls out again. Okay. So when you put it back in, the little feet go towards the bottom to give it space on the bottom. Okay, kind of like your old smokies with them. Yeah, they go like here, yeah. Like your feet. I just kind of use this because I keep thinking she got one leg missing. Okay. Everybody has their own way, but if you're able to get like a torch like this, that's the easiest. You know, I get going like this, stick it in here. I'm not ready to go on survival. I'm going to stick to that big old torch. Do you have something to put in there to burn?
I have the little pellets right now, but I got a lot of like wood and
This is cypress wood, all of that. Tends to work best. And the reason I'm saying that, naturally a fire is always hot, right? And some things you put in there, man, it's more hot. So it aggravates the bees. Not only, you kind of following what I said? Okay. So when you light it, you see how it's getting really smoky right now? And I might have smoked it myself. Trying to get that heavy smoke coming up before you cut it off. So it's kind of like it's charball in the bottom of it, you know?
I'm hearing the bees different now since the smoke is gone.
They say bees even recognize people. You see, they can recognize me. Okay. So now it's ready to. Then me, I use water. See, this is just a straight water. If I go in there and they come, I'm not even going to use much water. Whatever I do. So, in time, I'll show you these two, but I'll come open on yours. I have a lot more here just for you to look. Okay, good. That way you can kind of see the difference. And this, I know I don't have none in here right now, but it's usually sugar water. Okay, so when you spray that sugar on them, they start cleaning each other off. They kind of in this direction, in a sense, right? Now, kind of like what I said, you see I'm going to put on this side. Let's see if you can grab it. There's something lying in there. This one. I didn't sneak longer last night. I was so worried about all that bombing going on the other end. So coming out slow like that. Now this frame right here, this is a honey storage, and then you see all the pollen in there, the yellow and stuff. Yeah, that's good nutrients, and it's good for them to have.
So that's the new bees right here, right?
No, there's no bees in this one. That's just
like a little egg, like a.
Oh, the baby bees. Yeah. It's a little hard. They're more fuzzy though. Usually the older ones, their tails get blacker.
I'm talking about inside the comb, like a larvae.
No, there's no larvae. You see nectar.
Okay. That's the nectar.
Yeah.
Right here. This one.
Yeah. So that's the fresh stuff they brought in there.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So what happens when they bring it in here, nectar has a certain amount of moisture in it. Okay. Then when it gets below 17% moisture, they cap it. Okay. So this is honey underneath this part right here. Okay. All right. Okay. So now I'm gonna go this way. Very slowly. See like that. I'm trying to be slow for you. When you're not here, I'm going to time.
Okay.
Okay. So now this is a frame that has brood on there. You can check your eyes. Larvae.
Okay. Now I see it.
Yeah,
Now I see the difference for sure.
Okay. And then when you look in there, when the larvae at about 6 days old, they cap the larvae in there. Okay. Okay. The first 3 days, they lay the egg. Let's see. I think I'm seeing eggs right here. The egg is not a polka dot. It's a little line like a hyphen.
Mhm.
Can you see that in there? On the background right here?
I kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. I had cataract surgery, so I'm getting used to my new eyes. Okay. On this side, you can see how much more. And this frame hadn't been in there a whole long time, so the colony is working well. They're pretty confident. But see, this one I wasn't too worried about. So this one, it's almost, when it's totally capped, we call it a capped frame because all the larvae has been capped over. Okay. When a frame is capped on both sides, these are probably hatching out of there. Yeah, because I see some young larvae back in the hole. So this is the second go round on this frame. They've hatched out some young ones, but you'll see a frame. I don't know if we get there. When this is totally capped on both sides, when those bees hatch, they need 2 frames to take their place. So I never counted, but they said there's close to 6,000 little holes on both sides. You see, so when they hatch out of there, that's why when you watch in a box, so now you're gonna go home, you're gonna have 5 frames in here, and you're gonna have 5 new frames. When they occupy number 8, it would be time to add a box on there. Okay. Now this year, I don't think the population will be detrimental. Do you have extra boxes or no?
Oh, just those 2 right now.
Okay. Maybe
I'm start working on my top ones.
yeah. So this side, see, this is all hatchet. So because I see new larvae going back in the hole. Yeah. Same thing with this side. When you can see when the sun comes up a lot.
So that's, you said that's the second one?
Yeah, because you see, in other words, they put them back where they hatched before. Okay. When you notice that other frame, the first frame I pulled out with the new stuff on there, that wax was white. So that was the first time that wax got used. Then it gets a little darker as the wax ages. Okay.
Did we come across a queen in there yet?
So this is all honey. These are Houdinis. Sometimes that's why I don't like to use smoke either, because when you smoke in there, boy, they really go hard in the corners. They get off the frames. She should have a white dot on her.
Okay, you mark yours. Yeah. What's that one right there with the black dot?
Where you see that? Oh, he just wore something. Yeah, he's old bee wearing out. You know, you'll see there, the coloration is actually a hair. Okay, as they get older and they start foraging, that wears off and they become darker. And really old bees, their tail is almost solid black, so they almost done. You saw something?
I'm just looking at the pollen is carrying on the underside of the little yellow.
I didn't know. Okay, I didn't notice it. Usually it's a big old piece of pollen.
Yeah, it's like 2 sacks on each side. But she carrying some bags of groceries.
So like yesterday, yesterday, it's still a little early that do, but in a little while they'll be hauling that in big time. Yeah. Let's see right here. Yeah, you heard that little bit. It's hard to feel in the gloves, but unfortunately sometimes that happens. I'm pretty sure I'm not done there.
So that I'm gonna be able to hear him talking to me at time like.
Oh, and then later in the day when it gets really hot, the bees will be on the outside. They'll be fanning the fan. You hear a lot of buzz, so they're fanning in there to try to cool off. Let me see if she chips this. See, this is where she'd be laying at. Usually she's where the most of the brooding and laying is going on. And really, okay, let's say somebody, like when I come and check my bees, the biggest thing is fascinating to see the queen. Okay, but if I come in here to do just a general maintenance look to see how they're doing, I'm not really worried about seeing the queen. What I'm looking for is eggs and young brood. You see, so naturally if there's egg and brood in there, you know the queen's in there somewhere. Yeah. Okay. But naturally, as a new beekeeper, you want to see that queen, right?
I'm just asking because I want to make sure I'm able to identify it when I do actually see it in
Oh, no,
person
I'm
versus
not worried about that. I
pictures.
want you to see it. When I unload them to sell them, I definitely want to put my eyes on it. I want to know I saw that queen before I pulled the box out. She definitely put the finger there right now. So if I had to see, I'd have another box waiting to put inside. Yeah, I don't know if you have those screws. Just that one top one.
Yeah, just the one top. Is there a different color?
Well, this is called the inner cover. And you have this little space right here, so when you put it down like that, it gives them a little bit of breathing room. Kind of helps with the heat. Okay. And then this one I made myself because I'll feed them in the early spring, so this one has a little bit more height. I can put some stuff on here to feed them, and they have room. But right now I won't put it like that because they can build comb up against it. And, not so much on these, but the ones with bigger populations. Hey, what the heck? Just let you see the difference. But this one, you see, I still had that bang. I'm still going to pick it up. I'm not sure the rules are not pretty close to where this one is. See how I had them two bricks up, they're kind of telling me cautious. How much these in comparison with when we were just looking at top of it. And they'll have a lot of these underneath there. They'll have like if you can't stay this thing. They just give yourself just a little bit. One thing too, when you open that if you can, you don't want to open it right here. You in front of me, so I like to open it this way. You heard it? You heard it?
Mhm.
And you see how they make the stuff on there? So when I'm talking about backwards, I can almost tell right now. They're gonna be tested. See how they come out?
Yeah.
That's not one I would have wanted.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Maybe if they do smoke again, you can basically, if I had to get in there, so I think that's going to be the smoke room number one.